Hello and welcome to Tubonge Tax, the show that provides you with all the tax information that you need to stay informed. I am your host, Alan Madoka. In today's episode, it's an important one, as always, and today we'll be talking about filing your income tax returns, yani kufile hizo returns. And I don't think there's anybody who I would have gotten that is more versed on this subject than Mr. David Busaule himself. Now, David is from the Business Transformation Office, which is part of the Domestic Taxes Department in KRA. Welcome so much to Tubonge Tax, David. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Alan.
Now, we start right from the beginning. Nani mbona mtu afile? Why should somebody file their income tax returns? What do you need to submit to file that return?
Filing of an income tax return it's more of the opportunity a taxpayer has to communicate their tax affairs to the commissioner. And basically, in simple words, is you are communicating to the commissioner how much income you made in that year of income, and what is your tax liability, and probably then after that, how do you intend to pay?
Okay. So we've established why somebody needs to pay, but sasa ni nani? Is it kama uko na kazi, kama una kazi, if you're formally, it's only those who are formally employed who need to file, or who exactly under the law should file their returns every year?
For filing, again, as long as uko na active PIN, you should be able to file your income tax return. And by filing, you can be able to file a return which shows you didn't have any income. Probably those are the returns we refer to as a nil return. Mostly nil return, wale ma students, ma hustler wenye waja make any income, they have not probably been employed. Then unaweza kuwa una file probably for employment income only. And again, if you are receiving any other income apart from employment, you can also file an income tax return for that. So yes, as long as uko na active PIN, you should be able to file a return which is a return as per your sources of income for that year.
And I think that's an important one. So I think we need to emphasize that again. Unajua kuna wase hapo nje wanasema mi sija make anything, sijafanya any, mimi ni hustler, sija make any, so history ya KRA achana nayo. So just to make it clear, as you're saying that as long as mtu akona PIN, kama ameenda cyber, mambo ya shule, nini akona hiyo PIN. Bora akona hiyo PIN, he or she has to file their return.
Yeah. Kama uko na PIN issued by KRA, and especially for the year of income kama ni ya 2022, so inamaanisha kama uli apply PIN before 31st December 2022, nitakana uko unajipanga kufile return yako.
Okay. And then now I think we get to the crux of the matter is where can one file their return? Because unajua kuna watu wengine wanasema mazee sina time ya kwenda kwa ofisi, sijui Times Star hiyo building kubwa, sijui ofisi ya KRA iko wapi kwangu karibu na mimi. Like, where can a taxpayer go and file their tax return from?
KRA has made filing of returns very simple, and we wish the filing process to be a process which customers can enjoy it as they do it. So, and over the years, KRA has provided different avenues and taxpayers wanaweza file returns. The main avenues, the system which you can file a return through is iTax. So the main avenue, you can go to iTax at itax.kra.go.ke, una file return, una login na PIN yako na password, then you proceed and file a return. But again, to enhance convenience of taxpayers, PIA2 may provide more avenues of filing. You can file some returns through USSD, *572#, and also you can file your returns through the KRA M-Service app, especially the nil returns across all obligations. Those ones can be filed through the mobile app. But probably for other guys who are having slightly more complicated returns, those ones we may require them to file through iTax by logging into iTax.
Okay. And I guess, of course, being online, somebody can file at their convenience, even if offices are not closed. Hata kama ni usiku, any night bird, or any mtu wa asubuhi, you can file any times, regardless of whether the hours or office are open or not.
Yeah, true. Because iTax, it's a web-based system, so it's available to everyone as long as you have access to internet. From the comfort of your office, at your house, in the office, when you're traveling, even if you're outside the country, you can still access iTax and file your returns. Sio lazima ukuje maybe to a closer KRA office. And even if you have a challenge, again, we've provided more avenues on how you can reach out to KRA.
Right. Now, speaking of convenience and also speaking of time, when is somebody supposed to file their return, or when can one file their return? Is it between specific dates, or they can do it until November, December this year? When do people need to file their returns by, or between?
The income tax return is it's a return it's being filed annually. So as long as the year has come to an end, and the year here is hii mwaka ni January, December calendar year, once it has come to an end, you can file your return. So for, let's say, for 2022, from 1st January 2023, anyone who was willing to file a return could actually log into iTax and file.
Okay.
As much as the due date is 30th June 2023, you can still file early enough. And actually, mapema ndio best.
Absolutely. Mapema ndio best. Now, does one need to report or declare that side hustle? Unajua, mimi nafanya huku, lakini huku kando nauza viatu, nini naleta do poa, lazima ni file hizo pia.
Yeah, because a return for a taxpayer it's a summary of all the incomes that you've made, or rather received or made in that year of income.
Kila kitu.
So yes, cutting across whether where uko na employment na uko na side hustle, you'll still be required to declare both incomes. You might still be employed, na pia you probably when a landlord uko na some rental income, or maybe you may just be having farming income or any other business income. So return, when you're filing your return, the commissioner expects you to declare all these incomes from all sources, and then for you to arrive at the correct tax liability. Okay. So that in case there is anything to pay, then you'll proceed to pay.
Okay.
So side hustle, main hustle, hustle zote.
Hustle zote lazima
zikwe kwa return.
Lazima zifailiwe. Okay. And then I'm sure you have a friend like this, and I'm sure all of you have friends like this. Ni wajuaji. Anasema Alan, mimi nimefile last year, hiyo kitu niletee bwana. Nikaa last year tu, si kila mwaka is the same. Kufile ni the same too. Now, is there anything that's different to this year's return than it was for last year, for example, that taxpayers need to be aware of?
Yes, mostly relating to the individual income tax returns zinafiliwa na individuals. Kulikuwa na some changes to the Income Tax Act, penye hizo contributions za NHIF are now liable for as a deduction under the insurance relief. You qualify for an insurance relief kama umekuwa ukilipa NHIF premiums. So, and that one has been effective from 1st January 2022. So for individuals, that's the main change in their 2022 return.
Okay.
Wakifile, lazima wakumbuke kuclaim those NHIF contributions under the insurance relief sheet. For resident individuals. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure, of course, the nearest KRA office will be able to assist them with those calculations.
Yes, if in case you need some help on how to arrive at the calculations, you can be assisted at any nearest KRA office.
Yeah.
Wale wenye upewa payslip inaonyeshanga how much the NHIF contribution is, and even the NHIF membership number, which are some of the information you'll require on filing the return.
All right. Yeah. Now, it's good you mentioned payslips because that leads me to my next question, where you have income from two sources. So, for example, I worked here from January 2022 till May 2022, and then I stopped working kidogo, then I got another job till December. Or, for example, I had two two simultaneous income sources. What do you do if you have those two sources, and how does one file for that?
Yes, the return allows, again, even from the earlier conversation, the return allows any taxpayer to declare all their income from all sources,
Yeah.
whether it's employment, business, farming, rental, commissions, any income you've earned. But even as we come to, let's say, employment income, umekuwa employed with two employers, the return bado inakuwa allow to declare two employers.
Yeah.
Basically, you will declare the first employer on a line item, capture what is relevant to that employer, whether it's the gross employment income, whether it's the taxable income, whether it's the pay deducted from that employer. Again, you'll come to the second employer and even the third employer, and you'll declare them depending on how much you are paid, and of course probably supported by the P9s which they will have issued you.
Oh, so kila employer, kila income, P9.
P9 and the like kwa line yake tu.
Okay.
Then return it sum up all the
Income.
All the income from all the three employers.
Okay.
Of course, for certain deductions and reliefs, we don't allow you to go over the amount allowed. So hata kama uko na three employers, like the maximum personal relief, itabaki to the same.
Oh, the same.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So that's just what the return will be checking.
Okay. Okay. Now, you know, David, I brought you for one specific reason here to Tubonge Tax. Juu niliambia hawa say, Wendy, yule mse. Unajua hizi vitu. So, any tips that you can give just the people who are watching so that they can give other people out there? Any tips that you can give them that will help them before and as they file their tax returns?
Yeah, as for tips, filing a return is just like any other process. Lazima plan to file the return because we see most people log into iTax, they attempt to start filing, then hapo ndo una realize, sina insurance certificate, sina mortgage certificate, sina P9. So depending on your source of income, like for filing nil return, that one yenyewe is only the password you need to remember, because that filing a nil return is very easy. You don't require any supporting documentation.
Okay.
But ukikuja to filing returns like for employment income only, we advise ukwe at least na yo P9 from the employer.
Yeah.
As much as iTax might have the pre-populated return yenye iko na hizo values from the pay return of the employer, it's just good to have the P9 because it's the source document, and you'll also be able to confirm what the system is displaying and what is in your actual P9.
Right.
Again, for employment income, what I've seen persons starting to file na wanachia katikati, especially if you're having other, like I've talked about NHIF, it is good you know how much NHIF contributions you are deducted this year in the year 2022,
right,
and also your membership number. For the other insurance policies, it's important you liaise with your insurance company wakupe the insurance certificate for 2022. At least for them, it's usually a standard document. It has all the necessary information our return requires.
Right.
Again, so basically it depends on the income you're declaring. Again, for people with mortgage, please request your bank or your lender to provide you the mortgage certificate for 2022 so that you can be able to know the interest you paid on the mortgage. Watu wa hustle zingine, apart from employment, as sapo probably them, they may need to do mahesabu kidogo hapa na pale because maybe umekuwa ukiuza, you've been buying and selling, so there are some uko na income, na pia uko na some expenses, so it is good at least ukwe na ako ka schedule kenye kanaonyesha your income and your expenses, so that ukikuja kwa return it's just easy to fill the relevant sections and spend a minimal time if possible.
Okay. Now we talked about side hustles. Let me acha niende kando kidogo. Now kuna wase wana farm, wana fish, wako na rentals, wako na partnership, ama any other businesses. What should they do to prepare to file their returns successfully?
Yeah, from the other, we refer to your category what any other person mwenye ako na other income apart from employment. Yes, because it might have the income inaweza kuwa it's being earned over the year. So it's good also just to you may need some documentation. It may not apply to all businesses. Kuna wale taxpayers wenye they already have an auditor, so amewatengenezea audited financial statements. Of course, those ones itawasaidia kufile very easily, the audited financial statements. The ones wenye probably hawana audited financial statements, is not mandatory to have the audited financial statements. So wenye hawana pia probably unaweza tengeneza your, as I said, the schedule of just your income expenses, so that ukienda kwa ile return yetu kwa hiyo profit and loss account, una capture what is relevant to your income expenses, and the rest the return will calculate for you the liability. So it's important to have documentation yenye inaonyesha how much you received as income, probably how much you spent on purchases and expenses here and there, because income tax is tax charged on the taxable income. So in taxable income lazima allow the expenses from the income you've earned to arrive at the taxable income.
Right. Now, before we finish, David, like how many income tax returns do you expect to receive this year over the previous year?
We are targeting returns of about 6 million.
Okay.
6 million returns.
Okay.
Being as a measure of the active taxpayers we've been having as of 31st December 2022. So those are the numbers. A slight increase of probably about 400,000 from the previous year.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I know you guys are extremely busy at the moment, so I think I'll let you go and continue collecting those taxes. But we thank you so much for joining us on Tubonge Tax, and I hope you'll be around to join us again in case we need more tax tips on that.
Of course, I'll be available, and we encourage everyone to log in and file their returns. And as we say from KRA, mapema ndio best kwa hii story.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And remember, as David has said, to file your income tax on or before the 30th of June every year. Start today on iTax, which is available at itax.kra.go.ke. Or in case unataka help, in case umekwama, usisweat. In case you have any tax queries, pigia KRA. Wapigie tu 0711 099 999. Hiyo ndio official number yao. 0711 099 999. Piga hiyo number, utasortiwa kila kitu. And remember, as David has said and as KRA has said, mapema ndio best. Thank you for joining us on Tubonge Tax. I have been your host, Alan Madoka, and until next time, be safe.